Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan. I'm so glad that you chose to join me today. I'm very excited because today we're going to be diving into the latest edition of Bardstown Bourbon Company's Discovery Series. This is number 11. Now the last one that I loved was Discovery Series 8. Disco 8 made my top 3 whiskeys of 2022. So we will see how this one fares in comparison to the previous editions. Now the thing that's interesting about this one is that it is a return to being only Kentucky bourbon in the blend. So they have not done that since Discovery Series 4. So this one is 73% 13-year-old Kentucky bourbon. 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley. 21% of it is 10-year-old bourbon from Kentucky, which is 78% corn, 13% rye, 9% malted barley. And then 6% of it is their own distillate. It is Bardstown Bourbon Company's own 6-year-old, 68% corn, 20% wheat. It's their wheated bourbon, which is in their Origin series, which is very good. If you ever see it, you may as well get it because it's friggin' delicious. Now, before we dive into that, I want to say a quick thank you very much to my Patreon supporters who make it possible for me to go out there, spend time hunting down bottles and picking them up off the shelves at the price tags that a lot of these hit these days. They're kind of pricey. I have you guys to thank for that. So if that's something you want to get involved with, because we do other stuff with the Patreon supporters, including virtual tastings where I send out samples to people. We got another like poker night coming up where we're going to be sipping on whiskey playing poker. Also, just being able to support the channel and help fund these bottles up here and have your name up on the channel. Hey, big shout out to you guys. If that's something you're interested in, there's a link in the description. And I've just added today a brand new tier, which is just $1 a month. So if you want to support the channel for $1 a month, you can feel free to do so. Check the link in the description. I would greatly appreciate it because this stuff gets expensive and my wife has noticed. All right, Disco 11. By the way, thank you to our latest Patreon supporter, John Bishop, who joined this week. Appreciate you, brother. Let's pour it. I've always been a huge fan of Bardstown Bourbon Company's transparency. So everything you could want to know about the whiskey, it says on the bottle. All the mash bills, how old all the juice is, everything. I love that. I love that they put all that information right there front and center for you. You don't have to like go to a website and look it all up. They'll just tell you. Now, I will note before we start nosing this and sipping on it, I will note that it is speculated, it's not confirmed, but it's speculated that the 3 whiskeys that are in here, we know one of them is Bardstown's own distillate, 6 years old. But the 13 and the 10-year-old, it is speculated that they are Wild Turkey and Jim Beam. We don't know that for sure, but people are looking at the mash bill, looking at the age, tasting it, and making that assumption that this is Wild Turkey and Jim Beam juice in this blend. Bear that in mind. Well, the nose is sweet and creamy. Almost like a vanilla buttercream frosting, you know? Freshly frosted birthday cake. And a wonderful note of that barrel funk. The barrel funk I get on the nose immediately makes my mind jump to, and maybe it's because I said Jim Beam and I put it in my head, but it makes me jump to Knob Creek 12-year-old, that kind of a barrel funk. It's honestly delightful. Plenty of sweet oak, caramely brown sugar. But yeah, that barrel funk and the buttercream frosting are the things that come front and center on that nose. Let's try it. I should have noted earlier, it's 118.1 proof. So it's not like super hot, but it's got plenty of heat. Okay, so here you go. On the palate, it's like a blend of 3 flavors that are coming together here. It's like that creamy custard, vanilla bean, and from the charred wood, I'm getting this like charred caramelized flavor too. And the 3 of those things together, what does my mind think of? Friggin' creme brulee, man. The palate tastes like creme brulee. You know, you get that creamy, buttery vanilla bean with the charred caramel on top. What a great combination of flavors there. But the finish, it then transitions into some like peppery oak. Man, that's delicious. I mean, I didn't get a full bottle of 10. I tried a pour and decided, that's good, but I'm not going to spend $140 on it. By the way, I should have mentioned that too. This bottle retails for $140 MSRP, $139.99. That's what I paid for it. So it's not super approachable. You know, it's in that $140 tier with some other whiskeys. You know, like the Calumet 16 is around there too. There's a lot of great whiskey at that $140 shelf. Yeah, I just want to keep drinking it. Yep, creme brulee, which transitions into peppercorn and tannic oak. And as it sort of coats my mouth and sits there, right at the tail end of that finish, I get some of that buttery caramel in there too. Wow, I like that a lot. I think there's a pretty good chance that may end up being in my running for my top 3 bottles of 2023. Yeah, that one might be in the running there. My top 3 bottles of 2022 were Elijah Craig C922, which the C923 is a banger this year too. But C922 was in the top 3, Calumet 16, and Discovery Series 8. Those were my top 3 bottles of 2022. And it's cool to me that the Disco Series might end up in my top 3 again. So before I make that video, obviously, I gotta wait till the end of the year. Some other releases that I could get my hands on, taste them, revisit the bottles, and narrow it down to my top 3. But yeah, there's a pretty good chance this is gonna be in there. Hey, this is really good stuff. Do I recommend it? Yeah, I do. I do. Score, per my scale. I think I'm gonna have to give this, and now note this is a fresh crack, but on a fresh crack, I think I'm gonna give this an 8.7. Like, that's really freaking good. That's really freaking good. It's up there this year with the 22B Stag, rated very highly for me. Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend, rated very highly for me. The Starlight Cigar Cut with the Amberana finish, rated very highly for me. This is some of my favorite bottles that I'm just rattling off the top of my head. Booker's, both 3 and 4. So the Storyteller batch and the Mighty Fine batch, both of those were phenomenal too for me. There's some stiff competition this year. Really stiff. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're a Patreon supporter, thank you so much for your support. If you're a recent sub to the channel, welcome. We've had several hundred in the past week, which is really cool. I really appreciate that. It's cool to see the channel growing. Cheers. May you live richly and get better with age. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.